Do it.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's Link4Growth SW Herts TV show. As usual, if you can get in touch with us by Twitter at L4G SW Herts. That's Twitter at L4G SW Herts. And I'm glad to say we've got a full team this week again. Chris will be joining us a bit later on. But Tanya has a few really interesting stories for us this week. Tanya, what are your headlines, please?
Hi, Diane. Yeah, I've got some fascinating stories. The best one is the last one, to be honest, but there's some stuff about rubbish, some videos about rubbish indeed, a new parish council to be set up, review of parliamentary constituencies, and some change to stuff about what sort of shops you can open around a school. Intriguing.
That sounds very good, doesn't it? Neil, I suppose the big thing was last weekend or last Sunday for Watford.
Yeah, a historic win for Watford last weekend, so I'll be giving a match report and our opinions on that. And I've also got news from other local sports.
Okay, that's great. Chris is at Oxley Village a bit later on, which is why he's not here now. He's making his way down there, talking about the Oxley Village Community Hub and their craft fair, which takes place at the weekend. Excuse me. And talking of weekend, Catherine.
Yes. Oh, yes, there is going to be a weekend. There are lots and lots of things coming up. I'm going to be talking about all the charity events, all the social events coming up. We've got fire, we've got colour, we've got lights, music and action. So I shall be telling you a little bit more about that later on.
Okay, that's great. Very briefly, as usual, there's been quite a full week for Link4Growth. There were two Link for Business events this weekend. The first one was at Rivernet at Rickmansworth on Monday, or Rivertech, I should say, at Rickmansworth on Monday. If you remember, Chris went down to interview him a couple of weeks ago, and now Link for Business Rickmansworth has moved from Fox and Hounds to Rivertech, and it's still meeting the same Monday each month. And last night, Catherine, you were at Link for Business in Watford. How was it?
Indeed I was. Yes, there was a nice gathering there, a few new faces as well. Yeah, we had a good chat about all things business, swapped a few business cards, had a few chats. Yeah, very, very interesting evening. Encourage everyone to come along to a Link for Business event. It's networking with a difference, very informal, but very interesting, and it's good to chat with other business owners and just throw a few things up in the air and see where they land.
Okay, that's great. And Thursday, Thursday morning, that is, there was a Link for Coffee at Old Jay's Coffee House, which is the coffee shop opposite Bushy Station down in Oxley. Then on Tuesday morning, Chris had an opportunity to have more lemon to take at the kitchen for another Link for Coffee in the morning. And on Sunday, he could have bacon and eggs or whatever took his fancy with Link for breakfast last at the Junction Cafe, which is in the corner of St Albans Road and Langley Road Station Road, that corner there. Okay, now there aren't that many news stories in a way, Tanya, but they are all quite big news stories this week. It's weird how the cards fall sometimes, isn't it? So, Watford Council have issued some clarification on the type of rubbish that can be put into the blue lidded bins.
Yes, that's right, Diane. I'm forever talking about rubbish, aren't I? That's something about what I'm talking about. I ought to take note. But Watford Council now has blue lidded bins. We'll have seen them around if we don't live in Watford, but just visit it. And if you live in Watford, your blue lidded bins will have been delivered. The question is, what can you put in there? And quite an innovative way, using innovation, whatever it is, something to do with innovation, Watford Council have got one of their members of staff, nice looking chap, doing videos about what can go in your blue lidded bin, and basically quite a lot can go in. So yes, you can put paper in, yes, you can put plastic bottles in, yes, you can put aluminium in and cans, and he mentioned, or he put two sorts of cans in, and he called one cans and the other, I don't know what he called it, but anyway, it was the food cans and the drink cans were different cases of can, and you can put aerosols in it. I was surprised at that one. I didn't think you could put aerosols in recycling, but you can. So anyway, if you've got a question about what goes in the blue lidded bin, hop on to watford.gov.uk and have a look at this very nice chap giving you an explanation as he actually puts things in the bin for you. Easy peasy.
Nice chap's name is called Dale Garwood.
Well done, Diane. I had forgotten.
Okay. Yeah, and there are quite a few bins, films, as you say, explain what you can put in there. Okay, now very briefly, we did talk about this when it was first announced. This is the last full week where you can have your say in the future of the leisure centres in Watford and on the athletics stadium.
Yeah, that's it, Diane. So it's Watford Woodside Leisure Centre, Watford Central Leisure Centre, and Woodside Athletics Stadium. And the council's asking you, what do you want from these sites? What do you want them to do? Are they friendly and accessible? Are they helping you to achieve what you want to achieve in the way of your health and wellness in the Watford Council area? So there's a very short survey for you to feed back your opinions, your views, and as an extra tiny little bonus for you, if you do that, you'll get put into a draw where 4 lucky people will receive £25 worth of vouchers from the Into shopping centre. So if you can, go along. It's just a survey monkey survey, so it's nice and easy. On the watfordgovernment.uk website.
Okay, thank you for that. And another long-running story, which we covered previously, has finally reached a conclusion with a new parish council. And
that's right, Diane. Yes, yeah, we have covered this a number of times before. I'm not entirely sure that it's reached a conclusion, but it has reached a major staging post, a major milestone. So we've talked before about these unparished areas, and we had one, or we probably still have one, or maybe not yet, in our area, covering Moore Park, Eastbury and Rickmansworth Town. And Three Rivers District Council have now decided to set up a parish council for that area, and they're going to call it Batchworth Parish. Now, it looks to me as if it's going to actually cover those 2 wards based on existing ward boundaries of Rickmansworth Town, Moore Park and Eastbury, as I mentioned. There'll be 8 councillors, but the reason I say it might not be the end of the story yet is that no property or functions are going to be handed over from Three Rivers District Council to the Parish Council at this time. So it might just be setting itself up yet without actually any authority to do anything. Don't know, not sure. First elections will be in May 2017. People will be elected for 2 years, with other elections taking place in May 19 and every 4 years thereafter, so that it's the same as all of the other parish councils in the area. So there you go. We asked for it, we got it, and it'll be a while before it's got any powers by the look of it.
Okay, that's great. And the chairman of Three Rivers, as you know, the chairman changed each year, and this year it's Andrew Scarf, has set up his new blog on the council website.
That's right, Diane. I thought this was a lovely little blog, actually. And clearly it's been going for 3 years, because the last 2 chairmen have run the blogs too. And of course, one of them was our friend from Ricky, Les Mead. He was the chair from 2013 to 14 when the blog seems to have started. But yes, this particular blog is saying what the chairman of Three Rivers Council has been doing over the past little while. And the one that I was particularly interested in was the High Sheriff of Hertfordshire's garden party, which good old Andrew went to on the 10th of September. How lovely. We have a High Sheriff. I never knew that before. So anyway, his garden party was on the 10th of September. And of course, they're having a garden party. The weather was bound to change, wasn't it? So they held the garden party at the Gardens of the Rose in Chiswell Green, a lovely, lovely place that I've visited myself with some of our breakfast friends on Friday mornings. And so that's where they had the garden party. Fortunately, it was underneath a marquee, so not everyone got wet. But yeah, anyway, this blog is up on Three Rivers Chair 2016. So you can go and see all about his comments about that garden party, a felting exhibition and workshop that he went to on the 7th of September, installation of the new vicar at Abbots Langley, some interesting things about the people that went to that meeting and about the church itself, St Lawrence Abbots Langley, and the Mayor of Decorum's charity afternoon tea at Shendish Manor Hotel. Looks like he's getting round to some nice things.
Yes, and of course, not only do have had a successful partnership with Les Mead, but also with is it Paul Dixon, the last chair as well. I know Chris has had quite a few meetings with him and met him and set up the coffee morning at both coffee shop as a result of their meeting.
Oh, on this list here, I've got Eric Bishop was 2015.
That's what I meant, sorry.
There you go. Yep. I'd not contacted that or connected that name to us. So yes, Eric Bishop too.
Yeah, okay. Now, this is really interesting. It's got a hint of the Jamie Oliver's, this next story, hasn't it? And that the Hertsmere Council are taking consultations on allowing extra planning controls and takeaway food outlets in the schools.
Yes, that's right, Diane. So childhood obesity is a huge problem across the whole of the country. In our area, 30.2, almost a third of 10 and 11-year-olds in the borough are overweight and obese in the Hertsmere area. Childhood obesity is likely to continue into adulthood, can lead to increased risk of diabetes, cancer and heart disease. Health problems associated with excess weight cost the NHS, presumably over the country, $5 billion each year. I doubt that's just in our borough. But anyway, it's a big, big issue, no pun intended. And it's about time we did something about it. And there are lots of things that can be done. And what Hertsmere has done is said that takeaways could be facing tougher measures if they want to open near schools in Hertsmere. So there's a government inspector, presumably someone who's already employed, inspecting something else, who's going to have a say on whether these takeaways can open up close to school centres, close to secondary schools. Anyone applying for planning consent to open a takeaway visible from a secondary school entrance or an access point in the borough will have to show that the proposal, now, got this quote, would not undermine any existing or proposed healthy eating policy at that school. Which sort of struck me as a bit odd, really, because what if the school hasn't got a healthy eating policy? Well, in that case, the kids are going to lose out on both the school looking after them and the council looking after them. But anyway, that's what they're saying. If the school's got a healthy eating policy, maybe all of them have got healthy eating policies these days, I'm not sure. If the school's got a healthy eating policy, then the planning people are also wading in to help to make sure that takeaways are not visible from secondary school entrances. To be honest, 10 and 11-year-olds, secondary schools, a bit late really. Need things around primary schools too, need more health education. need more support to help people to get out more, to exercise more, to enjoy themselves outside, and to enjoy being healthy. But anyway, there you go. It's a step in the right direction.
And as you say, it is part of the policy that Hertsmere are undertaking to promote health and well-being among young people, including a really well adventure play scheme, which is run in conjunction with Groundwork, and also they have a partnership with Arsenal Football Club and an activity program for He Moves, She Moves, which is aimed at girls under, age 14 and over. So obviously this is part of a coherent strategy, but as you pointed out, it does cover a loophole at first sight with what is, if the school doesn't have a policy, but we haven't got anyone from the council available to comment on that.
That's it. So, I mean, it's the strategy wholeheartedly has to all add up together, and just taking away the temptation from within visibility of the secondary school entrance or access point in the borough is a good part, a good step, but it has to go wider. It has to go to, and it has to come from the kids themselves wanting to engage in healthier behaviour. So that's my two penneth for what it's worth.
Okay, now although this appeared on the Hertsmere Council website, it actually applies to anyone who lives in Hertfordshire and indeed across the entire country, but we'll deal with it here because it affects us in Watford, Three Rivers, Hertsmere constituency, and it's all to do with a review of the parliamentary constituency boundaries.
Yeah, this has been out in the news recently, hasn't it, Diane? So the proposals, and they are just proposals, for the new parliamentary ward boundaries are out, and they're out for consultation. So if you want to have your say on them, then by the 5th of December 2016 is when you've got to get your comments in. The particular page that we've been looking at here talks about part of Three Rivers, Hertsmere Member of Parliament, Three Rivers Council area in Carpenter's Park Ward. Or he's going to move into Carpenter's Park Ward, or from Carpenter's Park into Hertsmere. There you go. Finally, I get it right. Carpenter's Park Ward in Three Rivers District Council is moving to Hertsmere parliamentary boundary, so that the electors from that ward would vote for Hertsmere MPs in all the other. But again, in all other aspects, I noticed Carpenter's Park would remain part of the Three Rivers District Council area. That again seemed a bit odd to me, Diane. I mean, why would you vote for an MP who then has absolutely no say over what happens around your home? That just seemed a bit odd to me. But that's what they're saying. You vote for the MP for Hertsmere, but in all other aspects, Carpenter's Park stays part of Three Rivers District Council area. Bit odd. Anyway, there's a map, and it's available on the website, so you can see where you're linking into and what the changes are, and you can have your say.
Okay, great. Finally, we've talked about how Watford Museum has a exhibition celebrating the centenary of the Battle of the Somme and how it affected Watford. But Hertsmere have got something just as interesting with a fly past. That's
right, Diane. This is from Potter's Bar Museum, actually, and it looks really, really interesting. So, 100 years ago, on the 1st of October 1916, there was a Luftschiff 31 aircraft, which was basically a German Zeppelin, so one of those huge, great, presumably helium-filled balloons that was shot down just above Oakmere Park, or it came down in Oakmere Park anyway. The Zeppelin oak is the tree that it crashed into, And at the time, it was really quite a turning point for public feeling about the war. So this is October 1916, and I guess with the war going on for a couple of years already, people were starting to get a bit miserable, or getting even more miserable with the war carrying on. And the shooting down of this particular aircraft was a point at which people started to rally and to build their positivity about it again. So they say, we cannot underestimate its boost to morale for a nation struggling under the growing toll of casualties from the Somme. And reverberations from that night could be felt for many years to come. Well, 100 years on, there's very little evidence of the crash. It was a decisive moment in our nation's history, and one that continues to shape our lives. We're delighted, say the council, Mayor Pete Rutledge, we're delighted, he says, that we're able to commemorate this event through our partnership work with Hertsmere Leisure, Potters Bar Museum, Friends of Potters Bar Park, and other local volunteers. So yeah, this huge great thing came down in Potters Bar. It was a turning point in the war, and the fly past is from a replica of the plane that shot it down. So Second Lieutenant Woolston Joseph Tempest flied the plane, which was a BE-2C. Means nothing to me, to be honest, but it was a BE-2C. I'm sure there are people out there who understand what that means. And a replica BE-2C plane is going to be flown past on the 1st of October this year at this event to mark that historic occasion.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
Let me just give you the time for that, Diane, sorry. So let me just give you the time for that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
The talk takes place with Clive Hammersley at the Old Manor Pub at 2:30 on Wednesday the 28th, and from 11 a.m. on the 1st of October. There you go, 11 a.m.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Thank you for that, all the news. And you're not here next week or the week after, so we'll see you in 3 weeks' time.
That's lovely, Diane. Yes, I'll see you in 3 weeks' time. Have a lovely time. Bye.
Okay, take care. Bye. Hi, Neil.
Hello.
Hi. And I guess we better talk about football first. There's, in a way, only one place to start, and that's Watford's win over Manchester United.
Yes, a historic win for Watford against Manchester United last year. First time we've beaten them in 30 years. An amazing performance, right up there with the best of last season's 3-0 win against Liverpool. It was a really interesting game because right from the off, Watford looked like the better team, and although there were chances either end, Watford had the best of the chances, and it was a superb goal, a fourth of the season for Etienne Capoue. He yet again keeps ghosting into the box and blasting in the ball in the back of the net. 1-0 up, and we looked very comfortable for a long time. But Watford being a small team, and Manchester United full of world record transfer players and international players, we knew it was going to be a tough second half. And Manchester United came back into it with a Rashford goal, and it's 1-1. And then it was thought it was going to be nail biting time, and for a little while we were wondering how it was going to go. But unlike last season when we were hanging on to games, Watford were the ones who stepped up the pace and brought on 2 substitutes and ended up winning the game 3-1. And despite what Jose Mourinho says, it was a deserved win.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly full of praise for Watford, was he?
No, but I don't want to concentrate on that too much. He's got his own demons to battle, and he needs for his press and that to say he was unlucky. But the reality of the situation is his world record players, including Pogba at 90 million, were well and truly outplayed on the day.
Yeah, I mean, most of the reports I've seen give all the Watford players fairly good personal scores for playing in the game. with I think the lowest 6 and the highest 9.
Yeah, I would say they all had good games. It was really nice to see the fact that we had substitutes come on and make an impact, because it's something we really suffered with last season. We really didn't use the bench and manage to turn games around at all. And at 1-1, when you thought it was going to be a bit of a nervy time, Isaac's Success came on and Zuniga. And Zuniga's second touch of the ball, bang, back of the net. Again, very much like Capu, just ghosted in, unchallenged, and slotted the ball in the back of the net. And then Isaac's Success set up a ball for Zuniga, who then was taken down for a penalty. So 2 players came on and did the job we needed them to do.
Yeah. Now, someone who didn't, but actually still had a good game, was Igalo, and Troy Deeney is talking about taking the mickey actually.
Well, yeah, I almost forget that how bad it was because of the end result being 3-1. Everyone sort of almost forgotten, but I can tell you now there was some choice words being said about Igalo when he had a completely open goal and all he had to do was pass it into the back of the net and he spoons it wide. And Troy Deeney, always great value in TV interviews. Two good things he did. They called him and Capu out to talk to the press. And the first thing was they gave the man of the match award to Capu to take back to give to Sebastian Prodel, who kept Zoltan Abramovich in his back pocket for the whole game. A world-class forward, and Prodel had him in. And Deeney joked about, so you called us out here to collect someone else's award. And then he said he won't let Igalo forget that miss on the training ground for a long time. So I can imagine he's been getting a ribbon all week about that.
Okay. Now, Walter Mazzari, as we've discussed in the past, became coach in the summer after what many saw as quite a successful year for Keisha Santos Flores. And some of the Watford players are saying there's already a change in mentality from last year to this. Can you see that on the pitch, or is it just a case of they fought well over the summer and the players are more better equipped to do with the Premier League?
I definitely think we have a stronger squad this year than last year. We've got more players we can bring on. Jan Matt, who played at right back, was excellent. Brought a very good defending and attacking ability to the side. But they've definitely got a battling mentality, and they are battling hard. They're getting in teams' faces and they're not letting them settle. The only time this season so far we haven't done that was the first half against Arsenal. We did look poor, so hopefully that was a wake up that they need to keep the pressing game going. But the difference this time is because we've got a squad, they can play the pressing game, which we were doing under Flores last year, but we didn't have anyone to come on, so therefore the team were absolutely shattered come the last 10 minutes, and it was a lot of the time it was almost inevitable that you were going to let a goal on, or you were holding on for dear life sort of thing. So he's brought a winning mentality to the team, and this is what one of his former players, Niga, who we've got on loan from Napoli, has said, because he's had a really good, successful career at most of the clubs he's been to, and he seems to have brought that mentality to Watford too.
Okay, that's great. Now, there have been one or two interesting things happening in the medical department this week.
Yes, so there was a pretty unexplained by the club anyway before last week's show about Richard Collins, our head of the medical, being dismissed, and all up in the air. No one really knew what was going on. But as it turns out, it's because we've invested a lot of money in actually creating a medical centre that we are having headed up by a permanent doctor now, which we've never had at the club. We only had sporadic visits by doctors, and plus they are paying for a private hospital in London for all the players and all their families to have access to 24 hours a day, anytime they want. So actually this is a case of not just maybe a bad PR the way they handled it, but it's a massive step up in the medical facilities at the club.
Yeah, and it looks as though one or two players are going to be needing those services, with Jan Matt might have a fractured shoulder.
Yes, unfortunately, because as I said, Jan Matt had a fantastic first half, very dangerous, and in fact, when he had to go off with the shoulder injury, is when Manchester United managed to get back into the team, because although Norman Amrabat came on and looks like he'll probably keep that position, his defensive capabilities aren't as good as Jan Mats. He's a good battling player going forward, and he does battle back, but it's a slight worry that Jan Mats off, but let's hope the team can cope. He's had a very, very impressive start to the season. Also, Olivas? No, yeah, I can't remember. It's one of the other players has got a slight muscle injury in the groin. That shouldn't take long to get over that. But poor old Jan Mats looks like he could be out for up to 6 weeks.
Yeah, well, let's hope it's not 6 weeks, and we'll wish him well.
Indeed. Sometimes even fractures in the shoulder, if they're small enough, you can get over them quicker.
Okay. Now, Watford aren't playing this weekend. They're playing on Monday.
Yes, we get to see what everyone else is doing, and we're up against Burnley as the Monday night TV game. So if anyone wants to see that away from home, they can get down the pub or watch it on. I assume it's a Sky Sports. Yeah, it's a Sky Sports game, but I'll be watching it in the pub. And it's going to be an interesting game because you've got a couple of things in my mind here. You've got the old-fashioned ex-Watford manager who's going to get his team up to want to get one over on us because Short Dice was sacked very harshly. But you've also got the thing is now it's the first time we've had one of the so-called lesser teams. That's not to say any Premiership team is an easy game, but we had the hardest start in the Premier League by far, and we're sitting 8th at the moment. The players have managed to get themselves up for all those games and played a really fast-attacking football. Can against a smaller team? Can they get themselves up, and can they play with the same intensity? That is going to be the question. If they can, we'll win the game. In my mind, no doubts. But it is just it's just a worry. It's a worry. Nice to see Paul Merson predicting a 2-1 win, and I would predict an away win for that.
Are you going to go with the same score, or are you going to go with something else?
Well, it's interesting because at the beginning of the season we hadn't got a clue whether we were going to be scoring lots of goals. In the first few games there weren't many, but we seem to have gone goal happy in the last few games. And it depends how the other teams play, to be honest, the way Watford set up. If they try to come at us, we saw a lot of goals. If Burnley think they can beat us, it could end up being a 3-1 to Watford. If Burnley try to just defend, it'll be just a squeaky 1-0 win for Watford.
Okay, that's great. Now, shall we move on to other local teams?
Yes, poor old Kings Langley's FA Cup run came to an end. So even though they picked up their league form and they're doing well in the league now, their opportunity to earn some extra hard-needed money for the club went with a 2-1 win, and it was a cruel list of wins for the defeats for the Kings Langley's. It was a last-minute goal as well, and in the cup, that's crushing.
Yes, I mean, hopefully, because they've won the previous 3 games, haven't they?
Yeah, they had. They're not a team that seems to go on long runs or lets things bother them. They win some, lose some, and that's the sort of way they seem to play. They just seem to go for it every time. So I don't think it will affect them in their game tomorrow away at Banbury, a 3 p.m. kickoff, who are a couple of places ahead of them in the league. I don't think it will affect their confidence, but just a shame they couldn't get that step further in the FA Cup and actually get closer to the main draw.
Yeah, exactly. The losing streak continued for West Herts clubs, but although it was the first weekend of the season for the hockey, both the men's and the ladies' first 11, the women's first 11 lost. Yes,
so we've had a lot of good news to report in recent weeks, but not so good today. So it's both the men's, they lost 4-0 at home to Oxted, and the women lost 5-2 at home to Harleston Magpies. But tomorrow, the men are playing at Wapping at 5:30 and women at Wimbledon at 2 o'clock. I don't know if it's the step up in quality that they're struggling with. Only time will tell as the season pans out. But they've got new England Team GB coach there, got a strong squad. Let's hope it's just a temporary blip.
Yeah. Now, Valerians have been on a brilliant winning run, and it came to a juddering halt on Saturday, didn't it?
Indeed, the realities of the higher league hit home hard after 2 excellent wins. 54-5, they lost to Brentwood. That's a crushing defeat, and again, you never know with rugby. Maybe they had a few players out, but let's hope that this doesn't reflect the fact that they got through the first 2 games on adrenaline and they've been found out. Tomorrow they will be playing Eton Manor, who have had a mixed start to the season. So it'll be interesting. They need to pick themselves up off the floor, because that would have been a bruising defeat. And normally when you get defeat that big in rugby, there are literal bruises all over your body as well. So let's hope they can do better tomorrow.
Okay. Yes, both teams have played Rushliff, haven't they, this season?
Oh, have they? I didn't see that. Oh, yes, they have. Yes. I didn't see. How did Eton Manor do against Rushliff?
25-24. They won.
Yeah, so they both. Wow. Okay, could be a tough game.
Valerians won 31-7.
Yeah. This is going to be a tight game.
It is, isn't it? Anyway, okay. Now, finally, we'll end on cricket. I know the county championship is being talked about on the radio, and last weekend saw Radlett's last game of the season, and unfortunately didn't quite go as planned.
No, so Radlett, who had been having a most fantastic season and been beating all comers left, right and centre, have had a rather disappointing end to the season. So in the national 2020, they ended up getting knocked out in the semi-final, and on the last day of the season in the league, they lost, and unfortunately in the playoff final for the Herts League, they lost to Welwyn Garden City by 131 runs. So I don't know if this is a start to their end, because they've been the dominant local team for a few years now. Maybe that's going to start coming to an end, but I'm sure they're going to gather themselves together over the winter, get in the nets, get the practice going, so they can hit the ground running next season.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you very much for that, Neil. And so you're watching the game on Monday night on TV?
Yes, absolutely. I'm not sure which pub I'll be in yet, but I'll be in a pub watching it for sure. I didn't actually realise it was the Monday night game until a couple of days ago, so that was quite good news, because I didn't think I was going to get to see it.
Okay, well that's good, and thank you very much for that, and we'll see you next week. Yes,
and anyone who wants to come down to the shop tonight for Yellow Comedy, have a chat tonight.
Oh yes, and we'll be talking about that a bit later with Catherine.
Cool. Well, I've got to go now, so good to see you, and I'll see you later, and have a good evening, Catherine.
And you, Neil. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, at this point we were hoping to have Chris on talking about the Oxley Village environmental community and their craft village. It's arts and craft exhibitions happening this weekend. Oxley Village Environmental Group, that's it, I'll get it right now. But for some reason Chris isn't around. I don't know where he is. He's got stuck in traffic, or he's not been able to reach us. But anyway, there is the Oxley Village Environmental Group are holding a local arts and craft exhibition tomorrow between Saturday 24th between 12 and 11 p.m. and Sunday from 12 to 4:30 p.m. in Casey Hall in Lower Puddock Road, Oxley, with a bar, tea and coffee, and a whole lot of other things for sale. And as I said, it starts tomorrow. Luckily, I'm joined by Catherine. Now, for things we've got told these last few days, Catherine's going to tell us about something that will warm and warm up.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it has got a little bit chillier, hasn't it, out there? But still lovely sunshine, so we're not complaining. But yeah, this is Peace Hospice is having a fire walk. If this is going to appeal to anybody, it involves walking over hot burning coals, but raising money for the Peace Hospice. So it has to be a good thing. This is happening on Thursday, the 27th of October. You can find all the details online. If you go to peacehospice.co.uk, you'll see all their events and you just click through. But yes, if you're brave enough to take on their challenge, it can be a life-changing experience. And of course, you're raising money for vital care and staff at the hospice as well. You can go on the website, you can register your interest for the moment, and then they'll send you more information. Everybody taking part in the fire walk must raise a minimum of £75 in sponsorship and also pay a registration fee of £15 per person, which is the early bird rate until the 30th of September. It's £25 thereafter. Minimum age to take part is 14. So get practice. No, don't get practicing. Don't do this at home. But go onto the website and find out more about that.
Yeah. Have you done one?
Me? No. You?
No, but I know the psychology behind it.
Indeed.
We had for trained psychotherapists, so they just keep instructing afterwards.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
they did that. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's very much a mind over matter sort of thing, isn't it? I think there was something on telly, one of the magician shows. Quite why it was on a show like that, I'm not sure. But yes, a little bit of coaching beforehand and mind over matter, and actually anybody could do it.
Yes, but you need to be properly supervised.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, now Michael Sobel had a Halloween colour dash run.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. This is planning ahead a little bit. Obviously, Halloween is the end of October. I like the fact that they've built this as early bat offer, not early bird, early bat offer, available until tomorrow, which is £45 for a family of 4. So you're saving £5 if you book it before the end of tomorrow. Join them for some spooky fun with a new Halloween colour dash taking place in the grounds of Mount Vernon Hospital, and obviously raising funds for the Michael Sobel Hospice. So fun starts with a mini dash. There's lots of fun for kids, starting at 11 in the morning, followed by a longer dash for adults starting at midday. Each participant can choose to take on 1, 2, or the full 3 laps. And we sprayed with ghastly colour as they walk, jog or run through the monstrous colour stations. Oh, that sounds like very messy fun, but those that like to get messy. There's lots of sponsorships of opportunities. Please call the fundraising team. If you go to the website, michaelsobelhospice.co.uk, you'll find out all the details there. There's fancy Halloween dress, prizes up for grabs, pumpkin carving competition. Don't chuck away your pumpkin carvings though, cook those up for a soup later. Spooky colour stations. Entry is £20 for adults. Children under 11 are £10 each. Registration kids at 10, 11 o'clock for adults. Start time is 11. So that's like a family fun day, and you're raising money for a great cause as well. And that's going to take place on Sunday the 30th of October.
Okay, now we have talked about this event in the past because it's slightly unusual, but the terms and conditions have changed when they're holding the event. And I'm talking about the jail and bail, again held by Michael Sobel.
Yes, quite. Well, I think they had one of these last year, didn't they? But yes, you're right. Things have changed a little bit for this year. The jail and bail for the again for the Michael Sobel Hospice. This takes place on the 7th of October, Friday the 7th of October, when respective members of our community will be arrested and locked up at Ruislip Police Station in aid of the hospice. Excuse me. In order to let them out, they must raise £500 in bail money for the hospice, or they'll be kept in the cell until you do. Well, it's not quite true. They're actually going to only be in the cell for 3 hours. Originally, this was billed as being overnight. It's now not overnight. It's actually just 3 hours. But participants will be arrested at the Michael Sobel Hospice in the morning, approximately 10 o'clock, and taken in a police van to Ruislip Police Station. They'll be photographed, fingerprinted, and put in a cell. The event takes a few hours. Participants will be returned to the hospice just after lunch. As I say, it does not run overnight. Refreshments will be provided. in those little tins and tin mugs and things. We don't know, but that's a nice thought. If you would like to take part in this crazy fundraising event, please contact Trish on 020-3826-2357, or there's an email address there. Again, I'll post the links up at the end. So you can also have a look at the photos from last year's event to give you an idea of what happens. This is all taking place on the 7th of October, so do go on the website, have a look, and register your interest.
Okay. Earlier on, we talked about how with the Motor Cerebral Centre you can go into one of several colours, or indeed a multicolour array. Hospice of St Francis are encouraging you to go purple, though, much more refined colour, I think.
Absolutely, yes. Purple is a great colour. Do anything to do with purple. So you can wear purple, dye your hair purple, hold a purple party. But yeah, there's lots of opportunities to do something. Raise money for the hospice. It's the Hospice of St Francis. This is happening on the 7th of October as well. It's from 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening. Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. But obviously with sponsorship, they're raising money for the hospice as well. All the details on the website. You can register online and you get a free Go Purple fundraising pack. So you can bake purple cupcakes. You can, as I say, wear something purple, dye your hair purple. There's posters, balloons, banners. You can have a purple party as well. But the idea is to raise lots of money for the hospice. And it's a fun way to do it.
Okay, that's great. Now, tomorrow the Peace are holding a Push It for the Peace muddy obstacle race over in St Albans area. But the Hospice of St Francis still have spaces on their version of the obstacle race, and they've got Mud Pack 3 coming up. I missed the first two, I'm glad to say. I've been missing this one as well.
Woohoo! Yes, it sounds just as messy, doesn't it? I'm sure it involves a lot of mud. But yes, this is the Mud Pack 3 challenge. It gets muddier and muddier. So yeah, this looks like a whole load of fun. Sunday the 23rd of October at Ashridge House, supporting the Hospice of St Francis. They've got, again, all their details online, so you can register online. You can see the course that they take. You can see lots of muddy pictures from last year as well. It looks disgusting. But if that's your thing, then ask 10 friends, family or neighbours to sponsor you £5 each, and you've reached your minimum goal. So nice and simple way to raise lots of money for this worthy cause. Entry fee is £35, minimum age is 15. There's a sponsorship pledge of £50. As I just said, if you get 10 friends and family, sponsor you £5 each, that's your 50 quid to support the work of the hospice. It's a 10-mile route, limited to a specific wave. Wave? I just think more water, more mud. Maybe it doesn't mean that sort of wave. So all the terms and conditions are online. They've got refreshments at the end of it as well. There's a drink stall, just what you need to refuel after your challenge and possibly throw over you to wash you down. I don't know. But that's happening on the 23rd of October.
Okay, now a quick heads up. Christmas is just over 3 months away. And the Hospice of St Francis has announced the Santa Dash.
I can't believe we're talking about Christmas, Diane. It just doesn't seem right. We're still in September, for goodness sake.
Hey, we talked about Christmas cards 2 weeks ago.
I know. Well, we mentioned pantomimes and things. More on that to come as well. Yeah, this is basically, they're putting it out there. There's going to be a Santa Dash. It's going to happen on the 11th of December from 9 in the morning till 11 in the morning. And it's going to happen at Riverside in Hemel Hempstead. There's more information to come, but you can go and have a look at the details that they have already and see what happened last year on the website, Hospice of St Francis. So it gives you a good idea of what's to come. Look out for more details.
Okay, and if you're into gardening, New Hope might be able to help you tomorrow.
Yeah, they're having a garden open day. As you say, it's tomorrow. It's at 10:30 till 3 in the afternoon. Come along and enjoy the many varied creative achievements of our service user volunteers. And at the same time, give your garden some colour this autumn by picking up a range of ornamental plants, vegetable seedlings, herbs and craft items made in the garden for a donation. Whilst today you can experience storytelling in the garden yurt. That sounds interesting. You can take part in percussion workshops and enjoy other music throughout the day. There's poetry readings, children's craft activities, and light refreshments. The entrance to the garden is through the gate between 62 and 64 Rickmansworth Road. Entry is free, so it starts at 10:30 in the morning. You've got music going on from 11:30, storytelling at midday, poetry reading at 12:30, lots of other things going on in the afternoon as well, and it all finishes around about 2:30 to 3 o'clock. So that looks like a great way to support a great local charity. That's the New Hope, and that's their Garden Open Day.
Okay, now moving on to entertainment, Watford Coliseum have Buddy Holly story this weekend.
Indeed, yes. Funny enough, I was tweeting about this earlier today. Yeah, this is the West End musical Buddy, the Buddy Holly story. It's been on tour for a while now. It's coming to Watford. Lots of things come to Watford these days, which is really exciting. This particular one will be very popular, I'm sure. But I'm sure there's a few tickets still left for tonight and tomorrow. There's obviously going to be lots of favourite songs. That'll be the day. Oh Boy, Rave On, La Bamba. There's lots and lots of them. Johnny B. Good's another favourite one as well. Lots and lots to enjoy there. Ticket pricing is, well, the Friday show today has just started, so you might have missed that, but there's an 8 o'clock show a bit later on as well. Saturday 2:30 and 7:30 shows. Ticket prices range, if you're under 16, then it's £11.50. Other than that, it ranges from £16.50 up to about £31, depending on who you are, where you sit. So do have a look at the website. There's you can play the trailer of the show on the website as well, so it gives you a good idea of what it's all about. That's Watford Coliseum tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, and I just looked at the Coliseum website, and there are still a few places available for all three performances coming up later on this evening and both evening tomorrow. But basically, if you want to go and see it, book quickly because they are filling up fast.
Indeed, yes. I mean, actually, you could say the same for a lot of the Watford Coliseum shows these days. I noticed that. Well, obviously, I noticed because I'm an Adamant fan, but he's coming to Watford Coliseum next March. Now, the tickets are already on sale, and they're selling fast. So if that's your thing, then get online quick. Also announced today was Ross Noble, comedian, is coming up. And now the comedians really do get booked up about 6 months in advance. So I would urge anyone to have a look at Watford Coliseum website so that you can see what's coming up and plan your diaries for next year already. But one that we've got coming up next weekend is Roy Chubby Brown. So he's still rude, he's crude, and this time he's turning headlines into punchlines with a rip-roaring brand of banter. So if Roy Chubby Brown is your thing, he's in Watford next Friday, 30th of September, at Watford Coliseum. Ticket prices are £21.50. Fairly reasonable, actually. And obviously you can book pre-show dining at Watford Coliseum as well, either in a restaurant or they've got the cafe bar as well.
Okay, now this weekend I was going to do a plan about stand and deliver, but you moved on.
Go on, do it anyway, Diane, go on.
No, I won't. The Grenfell Colliery Band, who were probably best known for their music in the film Brassed Off playing this Sunday.
Indeed, yes. And I know what you're talking about, but I've just lost the link for the moment. Oh, there we go. Yes, Brassed Off was a fabulous film, and obviously they featured quite heavily in that. But they're doing a tour themselves. Obviously, it's probably not the same band members, not all of them anyway, that were in the film. But yeah, the Grenfell Colliery Band, they've won loads of awards. They played for BAFTA award shows, they played for BBC Proms, they played for Eurovision, they played at the Olympic Games and the World Cup. So they've been all over the world. They're world renowned. Definitely worth a squiz. Get on down to Watford Coliseum. This is Sunday the 25th of September, so this coming Sunday, and you can get your tickets online. I'm sure there's still a few available. This is at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, so a great way to spend your Sunday.
Okay, now moving on from the Coliseum to the Watford Palace Theatre, a couple of things to talk about that are coming up. First of all, there is a fifth production of Arms and the Man,
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned this last week, didn't we? So I'll go through it briefly again. We've got a dashing young officer, we've got another chap, and we've got a lady. We've got a love story, basically. Bit of a love triangle going on here. Do go on to the Palace Theatre website. You'll see all the cast, and it's a good cast. And as you said, Diane, this is a theatre production, which I think must be the first of their theatre productions for this season. So there'll be lots more to come. It's starting next Friday. Tickets are selling fast already. It's running through till the 22nd of October. So plenty of opportunities to see it. And so we get some really good performances at Palace Theatre these days. Great cast, great experience for the cast members as well. So if you want to go on a preview night, it's only £15. Weekday evenings and matinees, and then of course you've got the weekends as well. Prices, ticket prices vary again depending on who you are, whether you've got concessions, and where you sit. I will mention again the rumour tickets for young people aged 16 to 25. It's just £5. What's not to love about that? You can register online. On the Palace Theatre website for a rumour ticket. It's free, and you get such a huge discount. It's brilliant. Okay, I think Diane's in the middle of something at the moment, so I shall crash on. Also coming up at Watford Palace Theatre is James and the Giant Peach. What's not to love about that? I'm sure we've all known someone who's been in it, seen it, been a part of it, read the book, and certainly we know the author. It's a fabulous story. It's an age-old story by Roald Dahl, and you can join James and his insect friends for an unforgettable giant peach of an adventure to celebrate the centenary of Roald Dahl's birth, of course, in case we haven't heard enough about that. But it's brilliant to celebrate it. He's written some brilliant stories. So this is Watford Palace Theatre in partnership with Herts County Council, and they're using the Herts County Youth Theatre in this production. It's running from the 27th of October to the 29th of October, and there's 5 performances that you can to book up. Tickets are £8, so that's an absolute bargain for a little bit of fun, and that's at your local Watford Palace Theatre.
Okay, typical that. It just used to be like the 9 o'clock news on many years ago when the phone would ring and Kenneth would pick up the phone. Sorry.
It's always your mother, isn't it? You know, it's yeah. I'm doing something. I'm busy. I'll call you back.
Yeah, something like that. Now we talked about Panto on Christmas.
Oh no, we didn't.
Oh yes, we did. We talked about Panto a couple of weeks ago. Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. You're right.
And we talked about the Santa Dash.
Indeed.
Just a quick reminder, Watford Palace have Beauty and the Beast starting on the 2nd of December, and details are available on their website.
Absolutely. Can't wait. It's always good fun there.
Oh yes, it is.
Oh yes, it is. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay. Well, you can at least get the spread of it.
Watersmeet, yes. Open auditions for talented young ladies, not men, just young ladies for this one. This is for their pantomime coming up. It's Jack and the Beanstalk this year, which will be running from 8th to the 31st of December. So check your feet. Check that you're free for the dates first before going along to auditions. There are exciting opportunities for girls aged 9 to 11 years to audition for the pantomime at Watersmeet. This is the audition date is Sunday the 25th of September. Rehearsal starting date is Sunday the 27th of November. And obviously the pantomime is then 8th to the 31st of December. So if you're free on those dates, go along to an audition if it's your thing. Maximum height, you can be no taller than 4 feet 11 inches. So yeah, do have a look on the Watersmeet website. There's a few stipulations that they're asking for. You have to be a minimum of grade 1 in dance, modern, ballet and tap dance as well. So a little bit of talent, and you know, if you're the right height and your right age, there's for you, and that's at Watersmeet.
Okay. And tonight at the Horns, it's
reggae night. So yeah, fabulous reggae party with music by Selector Sticks. from Radio RJR 98.3 FM and DJ Dave Hollywood. This is tonight at the Horns. It's free to get in before 9:30, £3 after that, goes on till 1 in the morning. Looks like a whole load of fun. And that's down at the Horns. That's tonight.
Okay, now tomorrow, more Cowbell are playing.
I'm wondering if there's a band called Cowbell, if this is more Cowbell. I don't know, just a thought. More Cowbell is Austin's only mashup band that specialises in playing unique style of music where 2 or more songs are seamlessly blended to create something which is at the same time familiar and new. What started with one song has become a musical experience that can't be found anywhere else. This sounds like a whole load of fun as well. This is tomorrow evening. It's at the Horns. It's running from 9 in the evening till 1 in the morning, and it's free. So go along and have some more Cowbell.
Okay, and finally for the Horns, this Sunday at 4 o'clock, they have a band called Fat Busted.
Yes,
Is that
absolutely.
some sort of diet, right?
This sounds like another mashup of some sort, doesn't it? But Fat Busted are a 5-piece party rock band playing music from each of the last 6 decades. They play a huge range of songs from Elvis from the 50s through to the Kings of Leon from the noughties and everything else in between. So 4 in the afternoon till 7 in the evening. It's free to get in, and that's on Sunday. What a great way to spend a Sunday.
Okay, and finally, Yellow Comedy.
Yay! As Neil mentioned earlier, there is Yellow Comedy again tonight at Reason Coffee Shop. This starts, doors open at 7:30, comedy starts at 8. We've got headliner Sian Doughty, who I think was on Facebook doing something else this week as well. She's been a busy lady. Also appearing is Ollie Betsworth, Vivian Kay, Paul Merrick, James Shakeshaft, that's a difficult one to say, Shakeshaft, Susie Steed, Trev Tokaby, and of course excellent MC Andrew Carberry. Should be a night of fun. It's free to get in, not always free to get out.
Exactly. No doubt one of us will be holding the bag or the bucket or whatever it is this week.
Quite possible. Well, but one of you being you or Andrew, because you know I'm going to be elsewhere tonight.
Yes, this is true. Well, maybe Andrew's guys. We can speculate on that, but they are playing tonight. Sian is a brilliant comedian who's been preparing for this set by doing a gig every night this week. So obviously she can be in fine form, we hope, and it should be an excellent gig, and it's at Reason Coffee Shop, doors at 7:30, as you said, and this starts at 8. We found Chris.
Yay!
Hello, Chris.
Hello! Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can. We can.
Marvellous, marvellous. I hope you've had a good show. I've been spending my time in a traffic jam most of it.
Well, you're where you need to be now, and you're here to talk about the Oxley Village Environmental Group.
I'm here to talk about what?
The OVEG.
Ah, yes, I am here to talk about OVEG. I almost caught you out there, didn't I? Yeah, so the other week I was told about OVEG, which is the Oxley Village Environmental Group. And actually not a lot of people know about that. And it's a small group of about 600 people who live in this part of Watford, which is commonly known as Oxley Village. But it's kind of almost bushy, really. It's sort of in between Watford, Bushy, and I don't know, South Oxley, I guess. But it's a peculiar part of Watford. I hope you don't mind me saying that. But this is OVEG has been going since 1974, and it's basically a community group set up for the purposes of maintaining the local area, kind of supporting it, giving the local people an opportunity to kind of sort of look after their bit of Watford, as it were. And it's not a lot of money to be a member. I think it's about £5 or £10 or something to be a member for a year. So they've got 600 members now. I've come down here because on Sunday I'm going to be visiting this part of Watford. I'm going to put you on the other camera now, just so you can see what I'm going to be talking about. You see, there's a little hall here called Keyser Hall. Now, that is the Conservative club for this part of the of the town. Now, it's in the middle of a housing estate, and the reason I'm so late is because I couldn't find it. But here it is in all its glory. Now, this is where the art and craft exhibition is going to be, and that's the very thing I'm going down here to have a look at. So I'm going to be meeting with Angela Carstairs. I've nearly forgot her name there. She'll kill me on Sunday for that. We're going to be going here to catch up with some of the OVEG crowd, actually, because OVEG are unaware of our Southwest Herts Community TV. They're also unaware of what we're doing in Watford and all the community stuff that we're doing. And, of course, they're a community group. So they should be part and parcel of what we're doing, and I'm going to kind of introduce myself with Angela, and we're going to hopefully get them to be sending us updates and stuff so that we can include them on the brand new, lovely, super sexy Community Communications Hub website.
Okay.
So it's open on tomorrow, actually, this art exhibition from about, I think it's 12 o'clock until 11 o'clock at night. So it's open from lunchtime until 11 o'clock at night. And then on Sunday, it's open from, I think it's 12 until 4:30.
Yes.
And it's basically all local artists. So
that's the times I have them in the poster for. It looks really attractive as you've shown me. So hopefully the quality of the artwork is of a similar standard.
well, we can live in hope. All the artwork is for sale, allegedly. So I better bring my copious wads of money down.
Okay, well, you better not shout that too loud. You might become an easy target.
So that's it, really. So I just thought I'd come down and show you a bit of this Watford. Of course, it's not a place you kind of come unless you need to be here, really.
Which road are you standing in, Chris, at the moment?
I'm standing in Lower Paddock Road. So behind me, if you go up there, you get to Oxley Fields, which is the little park there, which is actually where I parked. But I'm in Lower Paddock Road, and it's.
I just say at the top of there, I think there's a little bit of a green, and they have a fair there in the summer as well.
Yeah, that's right. It's cool.
But anybody can go. It's a nice little community.
Yeah, it's Oxley Fields up there. That's what it's called, and it's sort of, you're perched in between Chalk Hill here and the road that heads out towards Harrow. So it's sort of just perched in there, nestled in there. Starts opposite Bushy Station.
Yeah, brilliant. No, my daughter's boyfriend lives in Lower Paddock Road.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's a nightmare to park around there.
it is a nightmare. I'm glad I'm here before 6, that's for sure.
Yes. Nice pubs there too, though.
Yeah. Not that I'm drinking, of course.
No.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you for that then, Chris.
No worries. And I will...
hopefully it won't take you quite as long to get home, but parking in that area and Bushy Arches rush hour time is not the best way of coming home.
Yeah, no problem. I shall be at Yellow Comedy tonight. Are you going to be there, Diane?
I am taking more photographs.
Fabulous. Well, of course, it's free to get in.
It's not
free to get out.
Okay, I will see you later. Cheerio for now.
Okay, take care. Bye.
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 Okay, Link4Growth next week. Monday we have coffee at... Oh, it's your turn.
I'm sorting it.
We have a Cafe Loco, which is on the approach to at Moore Park Tube Station between 10 and 11:30. On Monday evening, starting at 5:30, Reason hosts a Link Coffee as well. Tuesday the 27th, there's the coffee at Rivertech, which I think used to be held at Regis, if I remember right. But it's at 4 p.m, so it's a new time, an unusual time for Link4Growth events and networking events. Tuesday the 27th, coffee at Rivertech, and then on Friday the 30th, there's Link4Help at the kitchen in Croxley, starting at 12. Link4Help is specifically seeks to connect people who are facing challenges with those that might be able to help either at an event or through follow-up actions and sessions. So it's a kind of like a networking type of thing. Catherine, a restaurant review. We know we've already discussed what's going to be next week's restaurant review. What's today's restaurant review?
Today's restaurant review is, sorry, I'm just checking the phone's off now, it's LJ's Coffee House, which I don't think I've ever reviewed before, and it's a delightful little place. As we're talking about Bushy, it's very, very close to where Chris is actually at the moment, or where he's just leaving, in fact. If you come just down the road, it's again almost Bushy, almost opposite Bushy Station, in a little complex, and you walk through. There's a car park just a little bit further down the hill, and you can walk back up into LJ's. As I say, it's a lovely little coffee shop, and it sort of opens out into a little bit of a square around the back where you can sit outside. It's almost like a little patio area there, and a lot of the residents that live around that particular part of Bushy go there, but obviously anybody's welcome. It's a lovely little place. They pride themselves on the ethos of the shop. So I'm just trying to find it. All their cakes are homemade. They source all their coffee from Natural Coffee Company, and it's fair trade and it's organic, which obviously makes sure that the farmers are fairly paid for their product. All their takeaway products are 100% compostable, made by Vegware. And distributed from a Watford depot, which also means that they're keeping the carbon footprint as low as possible. They also only ever use free-range eggs. The produce they use is of the highest quality and looked after carefully, earning them 5 stars from Watford Food Hygiene Team in every inspection that they've had so far. So they say thank you to the customers that go there. They have some very loyal customers, but obviously, you know, if you're in the area just passing, or if you want a decent cup of coffee and you're heading out towards Bushy Way, it's a lovely place to be. They've got a very interesting menu. They do lots of items for breakfast, so you can start early. They do toasties, they do porridge and honey as well. Do lunches, cold sandwiches, baguettes, flatbreads, toasted focaccia, along with jacket potatoes, salads, side dishes, and there's a kids menu as well. So if you are in the area, if you fancy something a bit different, hop into LJ's. I'll give you the address as well, which is Unit C, Attenborough Court, Owen Square, Bushy Arches. And I say there is a little bit of parking there that you can use as well, and literally just walk up the hill and you're there.
Yes, it's also a venue for Yellow Comedy, and I believe it's next Friday that they are LJ's.
Indeed, yes. Link4Growth uses it as a meeting place too. But yeah, Yellow Comedy is branching out. We're in Bushy as well. Woo!
Yes, I did a great gig last Saturday at Perth in Carpenter's Park, which is another Link4Coffee venue.
Absolutely, yes. Comedy and coffee clubs. That's what we need.
Exactly. Anyway, on that note, it's time to say cheerio and thank you for watching. If you do have any comments about the show, or you want to get in touch with us, then please do via Twitter at L4G SW Herts. Twitter at L4G SW Herts. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.